Greetings. Finally got the live stream going. Apologies for the delay, although if you're watching this pre-recorded, well, we won't be hearing this because I cut the pre-show off anyway after about a day. But yeah, had some issues tonight. It's wouldn't work at all. Couldn't get studio.youtube to work. But we got there in the end. I basically had to start using another web browser, and on this computer that web browser doesn't work as smoothly, so we'll just have to see. We're going to have to take things, not going to be able to do too much, as in have too many tabs open on my web browser. But I'm going to get started. I was thinking of just starting like at 11, but then I thought, well, I might as well just get going now. Maybe do the pre-show for 5 or 10 minutes. I do have a video that I will play in with. Can we change that? Do we want to start at 11? It's a bit ridiculously late, but we won't be going on that time. And we're also now British summertime, of course. I did wonder if that was what was causing problems with the causing trouble with the stream. I don't know. YouTube Studio, which is how you go on to live stream in, just wouldn't work. It was being a pain. I tried it on another computer, which I've got, well, an old laptop, and it was working absolutely fine on Windows. On my Mac, which I use now for streaming, it just wouldn't load up on Safari. So then I opened up a different web browser, which was Edge. Absolute resource hog. It'll drain all the like power of my computer, unfortunately, and possibly cause a crash. That happened when we tried using StreamYard. It was just too much for it, and the system just crashed. So, but we got there in the end. Yeah, I do have a subject to cover tonight. Actually, by chance, by luck, coming across having to use the other web browser, it brought me to Bing's, like basically the search page, and I came across a cracking story. We got to watch it. We're going to look at it tonight. I'll open it now very quickly. Does it work? We are going to go to I got for goodness sakes. Right, on those phones. Okay. Yeah. Completely by chance. Jake Quickendon's crying baby son interrupts loose women as he runs on. If you know what I think about this whole situation, you'll know why I'm very interested in seeing this footage if it's out there. They've got to show it, hopefully. So that's something we're going to look at tonight. Hi Bob, hi Mudlark Dean at the Thames. Thanks for joining us. Glad you can tune in. We're going to be getting started in a minute. I've got an old video from... Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. We've got an old video from June 2017. This is probably goes back to one of the very early videos I made about... It's basically Meet Roy Larner. Relevant because at the end of last week's show and at the start I played in watching about a call I made to the Black and Blue restaurant where I was asking if they ever had CCTV footage. And it's surprising, if you were Roy Larner, you would be banging the door down to get that footage out there if he really did what he said. And I confirmed for myself. I went to London, I looked at the Borough Market Black and Blue restaurant, and I can confirm there is a camera on the front of that building. So if he really, as he said, fought off machete-wielding attackers at the door of the Black and Blue, there would be footage of it. But of course, we never saw it. What a load of crud. Yeah, I hope you're good tonight, Mudlark. Glad you could join us. If you stick around to the end, I'm still going to finish about the same sort of time, unfortunately. Well, you know, I'm not going to extend it past midnight. That's we'll see. It gets too late, and But yeah, if you stick around to the end, you will get to see part 2 of my Unreasonable Request video. I'll be making that available. It's been available if you're on Patreon, speaking of which. If you want to support me over on Patreon, I have a little graphic I can bring up a minute. Where are we? Yeah, just scan the QR code on the screen now. Also, if you wouldn't mind taking the time to like this video, I don't know if it makes a huge amount of difference, but I think it might possibly open the make the videos more visible to other people. Because yeah, to be honest, my views they've hit a plateau. They do not move. They do not. It's great. I massively appreciate everyone who tunes into my vids. But yeah, to keep seeing my subscriber count just drop down a couple every week. It's but yeah, last week or for the last couple of weeks, it's gone up by just a few. So if people are hitting the like button, that is much appreciated. Mudlight says a machete can hack a whole limb off, so how did he fight off several machete-wielding lunatics? Completely right. I can't remember where I read it, but I saw a quote from him where he was claiming I can't remember why it came up or where it was. Perhaps it was something I was watching myself, where he was making a claim that every time he was beating one of them up, 2 more would jump on him. And it was just such a bullspit claim. Typical Roy the Liar of London Lerner. Interesting, actually, the videos I made of Roy Lerner, I had the most feedback from people saying he's a legitimate person. This isn't an actor. If he's legitimate, then I also got quite a lot of threats with Roy as well. People literally leaving comments like, I'm going to track you down and break your fingers. You leave my Roy alone, he's a hero. Mental, crazy stuff. They're claiming to be the Millwall Massive, which is, or whatever they are, basically a big group of football hooligans that track down people that slag off Roy Lerner. They never found me, and that is even with me telling them where I lived. Well, I might have thrown them off course a little bit, but they never found me. Yeah, the guy's a liar. So I'll play this few-minute video. Yeah, actually, whilst in the pre-show, apologies as we're running an hour late tonight. If anyone's tuned in, we will be getting started properly by no later than 11. We're looking at a couple of subjects tonight. Yeah, and due to technical issues, I've not got some of the tabs open, which I would have hoped to have. I'll try and find them before we start the stream. I am going to tweet, actually, that we're going live. Again, if anyone wants to share this video either after you've watched it or whilst you're watching it, again, if that ups the views, it'd be interesting to see a few different, a few different names in the live chat. Okay, so you can enjoy this video from 2017. June 2017, which would have been literally right after I started my first YouTube channel. I hope you just sent in a tweet. Yeah, this is my very early stuff. Also, I always put a video on reserve in case for whatever reason I get interrupted and I need to mute my microphone. And tonight, it has been for the last few weeks, it's been the video of me and Avalon and Amazing Grace speaking, and now we've got myself, Amazing Grace, and the UK Critical Thinker. So if I ever get interrupted, what is the one I can hit? I don't want to hit the wrong one. I'm pretty sure it's about 50 odd minutes long, so it would give me a good 50 minutes to to sort out whatever issue I got. And yeah, okay. Mudlight says probably all a load of bots defending Roy Lerner. Possibly. It could have been. I guess bots definitely exist. Yeah, if he... Yeah, I'm not sure I'd buy the whole... Of course, yeah, when I made this video, I assumed at the very least the people taking part in these stories were real, but perhaps that's even too much of a stretch for mainstream media when they present us with a story. Perhaps it's too much for them to give us a actual, even a real person. Perhaps it's got to be faked to the... It's a good way of keeping control on it. I mean, why are the cameras always around? Why were there cameras around the day Roy Lerner shouted racial abuse at a load of protesters, but the one day that he beats off all these knife-wielding attackers, machete, or he kept changing his story. 1 minute it was knife, then it was machete. So who knows? No cameras, not even a CCTV that exists at the Borough Market branch where he claims to be. We do not let these stories go. Obviously, people might think that was 5 years ago. Who cares about the Manchester Arena? Well, there's probably people out there now still doing very well off of that story. If you get me drift, massive amounts of money. Whenever the news gives you a story, they'll give you a reason for giving them money. For example, every shop you go in, would you like to make a donation to the whatever fund, or that kind of thing. Right, anyway, back to my playing video. 4.5 minutes long, roughly. And then when I come back, yeah, we'll probably get started after I've found a couple of links. So, thanks to Mudlark for taking the time to tune in and say hello. If anyone else wants to, it'd be good to know you're around. We won't be going quite as long tonight. So if anyone has any subjects they want us to look at, but I've just, as I said, I stumbled upon one which I'm really interested to look at, as well as the subject of tonight's show, which is hypocrisy. I wanted to share a news story I saw, and I wondered if any of you guys thought the BBC were being a bit hypocritical. We will look at all of that after 11, which is in about 9 minutes. Mudlark, I'd be curious to know, were you caught, or anyone else watching, were you caught out by the clocks changing? We're now in spring if you're in this part of the world. Right, okay, we'll do a weather forecast later, or leave it to the BBC, they do everything else. Right, here is a video from June 2017. Meet Roy Lerner and the world's biggest sellouts. I'll be back in a minute. Scumbag, absolute sleazebag, Roy Lerner are all frauds and sellouts, alright? Take care. I was going to do a video on this vile sleazebag Roy Lerner, the man who allegedly fought off 3 attackers on the 3rd of June in London outside the Black and Blue restaurant, where he was then stabbed 8 times, including an 8-inch scar across the back of his head, and he was... I was going to do a video on this vile sleazebag Roy Lerner, the man who allegedly fought off 3 attackers on the 3rd of June in London outside the Black and Blue restaurant, where he was then stabbed 8 times, including an 8-inch scar across the back of his head, and he received a punctured lung, according to the reports and according to what he says. But here he is, just a few days, bandaged up like a mummy, and he's laughing and joking on video.
All that blah, 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 blah. Things. I don't know why I did it, but I went blah, blah, blah back, and they said, you. You're not getting in here. Millwall, in an Arsenal top one.
And then we see him a few days later, the morning of a operation, and he's popped out to do a quick interview on Good Morning Britain, again where he's laughing and joking, and he also seems to be making some demands. They've already supposedly raised 50 grand for him, which is obviously his payment for being part of this fraud, but there's also a few other things he wants.
I've still the cakes in there. They haven't given me my season ticket yet.
Would you like one?
Yeah.
Of course.
Come on, man.
Thank you so much.
Stay in touch with us. I hope we can get you a nice place to live, a nice job, a nice financial medal, and
a nice Season ticket.
For this
A nice
country.
wife. No.
Anyway, like I said, I was going to do a longer video on him, but I actually want to focus this one on the world's biggest sellouts. Successful musicians don't get to the top without being sellouts, okay? I think that's pretty well established. But there is another level of sellout, and I think Oasis, when they allowed their song Don't Look Back in Anger to be used as, in their words, the anthem for these recent attacks, or alleged attacks in Manchester and London. We'll take a look at this news article from the Daily Fail. They've used Don't Look Back in Anger, in their words, as the anthem for all these fake attacks. I mean, just a side note, what an insult if you genuinely had lost a member of your family in this event, which would be very difficult considering the whole thing was fake. But if you had lost a member of your family and then you've got some rich rock star or some singing at you to Don't Look Back in Anger, I mean, what an insult. Although, as we see, all the victims' families couldn't be more happy in most cases that their loved ones have passed on at the hands of this event. Usually because they end up making a heck of a lot of money. As we can see here, according to the Daily Fail, Noel Gallagher has reportedly donated all profits from Don't Look Back in Anger to charity, amid claims he was never invited to perform. And then it goes on to some rubbish feud he's having with his brother, another sellout, which is just publicity because they're performing at some festival soon. So it just raises their profile. Noel is going to donate all the proceeds. Now, bear in mind, he's not the only one who's going to be getting royalties from this, though. His brother and other band members will all be entitled to royalties whenever that music's played on TV. And my God, it's been played a lot lately, if you notice. I mean, who decided to make it an anthem? He reportedly decided to make the generous gesture when the song became a haunting anthem for families of those affected by suicide bombing after being played at the victim's funeral. So, like I say, here is the face of the world's biggest sellout next to another guy who creeps me out for some reason, Chris Martin. He just seems like another fake Bono YouTube liar and fraud. Another Bob Geldof kind of character. And just one more thing about Noel donating all the proceeds to charity. Which charity has he donated it to? Apparently it's called We Love Manchester, and it's set up by Manchester City Council, allegedly, supposedly. In case you're not aware of charities and how their money's used, legally only 10% of proceeds from a charity needs to go to the actual cause. The other 90% can be spent on administration charges, they call it, and 90% can go to the administrative charges, which includes wages, jobs, premises, cars, etc., etc. And if you think there is a charity around now that doesn't take full advantage of that law, then I'm not aware of one. As far as I know, any big charity will be only ever putting 10% of proceeds towards the actual cause. That's all I'll leave with you. Don't believe this bullshit. Seriously, Noel Gallagher and his brother and the rest of the band, and absolutely Chris Martin and this scumbag, absolute sleazebag, Roy Larner, are all frauds and sellouts, alright? Take care. I was going to do a video on this vile sleaze. Okay, that was June 2017. By the way, I'm in the live chat as Chronicles of the Unconvinced. I've had to send myself a couple of links, as I said. The web browser I normally use completely wouldn't work tonight for some reason. So, hello to KG, who's in the live chat. They're already here. Plus, they are already here. Good to see you both. Thanks for joining tonight. Yeah, it's going alright. They're already here. Thanks for asking. Can't complain, really, can we? I'm still here, fit and healthy, and able to broadcast my live stream tonight, even after like a 40-odd minute delay. So I got no complaints. Right, I need to open those tabs. As I said, I'm using another web browser, so please bear with me. Things might not run quite as quick as they might otherwise. We are going to start literally in a couple of minutes. Right, I'm just sharing a couple of links, which I'm having to get out of the live chat. Kind of gives away some of the topics I'm talking about tonight, but it's no big secret. Page not found, typical. Okay. Oh no, it was found. No, it isn't. I know what it was. Right, okay, I'm going to get started then. Thanks for your patience tonight. Apologies if things have not gone as quick or as smooth as they normally would. Well, going smooth isn't particularly a common theme on this live stream, to be honest. Oh, we have some audio, I hope. Yeah, any feedback, anything anyone wants us to look at tonight, please drop a link in the live chat. I will only be going for about an hour. So yeah, I'll be back in 1 second after I've muted myself. Apologies, people. More problems. I go over to my line loops at my main screen, and nothing seems to want to come up. So, not sure what's going on there. Might have to do everything from here if it's working. Let's see. Bear with me. Yeah, this side of things is at the very least working. We had this problem last week where I couldn't get my image up. Not going to be a problem tonight, I promise. Yeah, I'm going to look at, first of all, I'm sure most people familiar with this live stream on my channel will, oh for goodness sakes, not working on here either. We might have to take a 2-second delay while I sort this problem out, unfortunately. Because it's using that other web browser, I'm sure of it. It absolutely kills everything. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, it's the problem with using the, sorry to make excuses, but it is the issue that comes from using Microsoft Edge web browser. It just doesn't want to work. Let's see, where are we? Right, I might have to restart the stream. Well, I say restart the stream. Interesting. Oh, there we go. That is peculiar. That's very odd. I had a image lined up. Oh, goodness sakes. Right. One problem after another, sometimes doing these live streams. Right, once we get there. Right. This is madness. Okay, right, we're going for it. Let's see. I'm not going to restart anything. Strange things going on tonight. Put it that way. Right. First story we are. Oh, first of all, before we get going, let me not forget to say a big thank you to my first and one and only Patreon, Linda Mack. There is a QR box I'll put on the screen if anyone wants to support me over on there. And as I've also would ask if anyone would be kind enough to like, share, and comment on this video. I think it does help in raising the visibility of my videos, or anyone's videos, you know. So that would be appreciated. And yeah, where's my last animation? And then we're going to start properly once I've played this one. There we go. Like, sub, and share, as it were. Okay, yeah. First thing I was going to look at, as I said, Jake Quickenden, someone I've made quite a few vids about over the years. I did, by chance, happen to see that he has apparently. Now you guys know I think this baby's CGI. Not everyone agrees. I've had a lot of basically I don't know if you call them trolls. Who knows what they are? Trolls, bots. I don't know. But I had a shed load of, maybe they're real people. Shed load of people comment on the video I put up about him and his fake baby. It's the only celebrity so far out of all the ones I've done. Look at that fake nose. I don't know if you can see on him. His nose looks ridiculously fake. Let me just zoom in on that a minute. Yeah, I would love to see this video. Apparently the fake baby rushed into the studio of Loose Women. Right, it's this guy's nose. The baby and I mean, who knows what they're doing with this guy. I would say that hair's not real. Prosthetics, obviously tons of makeup to cover up where they're putting the fake beard on. These people are as made up as they're as made up as all the rest of the, you know, say for example someone you see on Coronation Street or whichever. These people are. No, a story about Jake Quickenden, and they make us watch a film about this. This not going to be the main subject, but we are touching on that slightly tonight. Absolutely impossible to get away from, of course. Right, KG, how is inflation in your part of the world? Do you know what, KG? You'd have to have money to know anything about that. And I just know expensive. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. Obviously, fuel's gone up massively at the moment. Something like 170. And right, I'm just gonna inspect this guy's nose because I'm not sure if you can see it. It just doesn't look particularly legitimate to me. Almost like a piece of plasticine stuck on over the top. Those teeth, well, they're blatantly not real. Who has teeth like that? I don't know if you can see that spinning ball. Get used to it. We're going to see it a lot tonight because I'm using this other web browser. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Right. Hang on. Right, apparently the former X Factor star who is currently appearing in Footloose musical tour. I heard he was going to be singing on boats or something. Appeared on the show to speak about returning to work with a new dad. Do you know what? I would say as many as 10, 20, who knows how many different people could play this guy. Jake, 33, welcomed son Oliver with fiancée Sophie Church last year and gushed that he had changed his life. Yeah, of course you did. Right, think about the reality of this. You're in a TV studio, busy television studio. Do you really think they just let toddlers run around? No, not at all. He's a bit noisy like his mum, cheeky. He doesn't get that from me. He's changed my life. He's the most amazing little boy. Yeah, everything they say about... I want to see the video of this. I'm desperate. No doubt this guy put it up on his Instagram account, so we'll have a look for that. Opening up about the return. It's basically just publicity for whatever he's doing now. It was nice to get back on stage. I felt it was a bit of imposter syndrome. What does that mean? Absolutely correct, Mr. Imposter, all the way. I feel like there's a bit of imposter syndrome. I was on X Factor. Oh, goodness sakes, what now? Just suddenly jumped onto a story about Will and Kate. I think I did click something. I'll go back in a minute. Yeah, of course. They just let toddlers. Here's the video. Brilliant. This is just what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, it won't play that smoothly. And we have to watch an advert. It won't play that smoothly through the streaming. But I am going to try and I'll do something with this, definitely. I'm not going to let this one slip by. Where's the advert that they're bound to make us watch?
And stuff like that.
Bollocks. Absolute bullshit. No. Absolutely not. This whole thing's a joke. What has that thing got down now? Have they stuck a brace down its back or a board so it stays upright? CGI. See, remember, well, as far as I know, that I don't believe they're letting studio audiences back into the studio anymore. Because whereas everyone going, oh, how cute, oh, isn't that sweet? No way would they let a baby just toddle across the studio. Imagine if it had tripped over a cable, hit its head, got electrocuted. Not a chance. Right, they're all having to... What I would expect to see, I've never seen this footage before, they're going to spend a lot of time looking off to either the left or the right, and that will be the monitor to make sure that... I mean, this would be pre-recorded, no doubt, so who knows.
How's it been for you? Because obviously being at home a lot because of the pandemic and whatever, and then suddenly
They've got to bring that crap into it, haven't they?
you're back on tour and having to leave little one.
It's actually,
So that was a weird kiss. Did you see that? No, and he almost looks at the camera wide-eyed like, oh, did you spot that? Yeah, I spotted it, Jake. Check out this kiss. See? What was that? What was that? That was a cut in the seam, wasn't it?
And whatever, and then suddenly you're back on tour and having to leave little one.
Come on, kiss.
That's been the hardest thing.
That was the fastest kiss I've ever seen in my life.
I'm back working and I'm back on stage and I'm doing this amazing show.
You've been on stage all along, my friend. It's always a stage.
I've now got this little one to miss even more.
Just another prop on stage, to be honest. Maybe he's carrying a real doll just so they've got some reference point. But
So from Fred, but then I've got this one to miss.
wow. For one thing, that isn't newsworthy, but yeah.
Do you think that we would be
Nothing we saw there could not have been done with using CGI. Has it really come to that now, where all these celebrities themselves, who knows what they're imposing on top of the faces. Anyway, yeah, I'm almost grateful that my normal web browser didn't work because I got to have a look at this. I wouldn't have seen this story otherwise. While another... Oh yeah, they also talk about the trolls, which is in a way what I got a backlash from. Are these trolls real? Who knows? Is it just something else to write in the... I mean, it's coming from the mainstream press, so of course it's not real. Jake 33, get your numbers in, mate. Welcome, son Oliver. Yeah, apparently, right. He's a bit noisy. Just as Colleen insisted that he stop putting himself down, Leo began crying again and was seen running towards him. As he cuddled... Oh, that was after he called himself an imposter, yep. As he cuddled his son on his lap, Jake explained that the hardest thing about returning to work had been the fact that he was a new dad. What's that got to do with that? As much as I'm thankful... Yeah, Jake went on to address the vile trolls. By all accounts, I was considered among that by claiming that the whole things just CGI. I argue and let it affect my mental health. Hen was first born. The first few months were the worst. Some cruel social media users decided to send the pair abuse about how his son looked, with one bully suggesting the baby needed Botox and was ugly as F, while another horrifically told Sophie to drown her son. They don't mention my accusations though, do they? I can't imagine a human being that mean to a baby, but I'm not letting it get to me as much now. Right, I love that crap. I love this sort of thing. We will see quite often if I ever make a video, even one that simply has his face in it, he will comment on it. So, you reckon he wears a toupee, Mudlark? Absolutely, that's a toupee, yeah. Maybe they sit him down in makeup for like 2 hours. Those teeth aren't real either, I don't think. KG, tonight some Hollywood award show. You're absolutely right. The Oscars. Apparently we had basic worship in a golden idol, which is typical of these people. I mean, that is, by all accounts, considered the height of acting. This is what this sort of person, whoever he is, underneath whoever it is, that's what they consider the height, receiving a golden idol at some, as you say, Hollywood award show. That is what they consider top of the pops, as it were. Right. Yes, I did have a thumbnail, but it's absolutely just vanished now. So, yes, I'm accusing the BBC of being hypocrites. Right, where does this, see if you can, yeah, so I'm not sure I have to jump off Jake Quickenden or what, but I might cover one more quick thing about him. I'll just show you some of the trolling that I got. And just quickly, I mean, that's hardly front page news, is it? Why would they make such a big deal about some baby run? I don't know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Can you see it? I know it's not, well, maybe it is just me that sees it, but I'm not wrong about it. I'm certain that there's CGI in it. Yeah, if I go to my videos, I'll just show you, it's endless comments about this guy. Oh, what happened there? Goodness me, all I want to do is go to, alright, maybe I should have gone to your channel. I don't want to risk loading, yeah, I don't want to risk loading up one YouTube Studio, as it hasn't worked at all for me tonight. Right, yeah, I'll just show you some of the comments I got. If I sort by most popular, after this guy's gave this video a load of coverage on YouTube, which fair enough, can't complain about that. This video went up to 23,000 views, and then over about a week it came back down again to 7,500. I think that is where probably it's counting views on Twitter more than once, so every time someone leaves a reply to the tweet, perhaps it counts it as another view, I don't know. But yeah, this was massively unpopular, this video. This is sick. Just let the family be happy. He's the most gorgeous baby and they make such a lovely family. Why do you feel the need to do this? Get a life. Loads of people, because I said basically 4-week-old babies can't lift their head up. There he is. Here is his comment. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like I have time to pretend to have a baby or make a CGI baby. Mate, you have far too much time on your hands. Says the man who's got time to sit around in makeup for probably 2-3 hours while they see. Again, I don't believe this is really him. I reckon that they probably got teams that look after their social media account. Anyway, got plenty of people. Someone there said absolutely brilliant, which like, you need help, you need to see a doctor. You've compared Instagram filters to CGI. It's nothing to do with filters. My son rolled over at 3 weeks. Yeah, fair enough. Rolling over is one thing. Sticking your head up like this child supposedly does, and then running on stage with a completely straight back, as we just saw then. No, mental. Seriously, I hope you reach out for the help you clearly need. This is what you get for daring to question these people. For daring to question. Oh, yeah, here we go. How ignorant is this comment? How do they CGI on a live video? What complete rubbish. You don't think they can put CGI on a live video? You know absolutely nothing, Jasmine Kirk. I can tell you that. You clearly don't have children yourselves, because if you did, you would know that lots of babies can hold their heads up for short periods of time at a really early age. Mine did, but I guess they're all CGI. There's nothing even remotely suggests this baby isn't real. It's unendless. Anyway, that person saying, how can you CGI a live video? That's exactly what they're showing you in this video clip, where they're putting cartoon eyes on this woman, supposedly his wife. I say woman in the loosest possible terms. If you haven't seen it, you probably have, no doubt. I mean, all these videos to me look absolutely fake. Really poor quality as well. These tattoos could easily be superimposed onto him. Even basic video editing software, you basically set a load of pixels and you just alter the pixel. Literally, it's down to the pixels, and it's that precise. But still, it doesn't look legitimate always. We will move on from this shortly. It's just this sort of thing does interest me, because look how fake he looks. Come on. People say, I mean, I think here we go. This was like a 4-week-old. Let's see.
March. Here is a 24-day-old baby. I'm not
24 days old. And it's able to lift its head up for that amount of time. Absolute insanity. And I even cite it. Now, not one person in the comment that said, of course this is possible, could share any actual citation, as it were. All of it was anecdotal evidence, which is meaningless, inadmissible. My baby did it when he was a day old. That's what someone said. They were trying to climb out of their cot at 1 day old. I'm not sure if I'll find it now. Yeah, but it was all the comments were pretty similar. My boy was holding his head at least at less than a week old. All babies are different. So it's all just anecdotal evidence. And again, I'm not saying they might not be able to move their heads or lift their heads a tiny bit, but lift it up the way this. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the live chat. Muddler says these comments are probably all from Jake Quickenden using different accounts, could be, or whatever team he pays to animate these videos. KG, why are they faking babies? Sick. Harkles has 2 dolls. Yep, same. That was, to be honest, the first place I recognised it. I saw it. Someone shared a tweet showing that Archie looked just like a reborn doll, and I was saying beforehand that no way Megan could be having a child, so they were obviously going to fake it one way or another. They use dolls and CGI. What a surprise! Exactly the same thing they use in films and TV. Mudlark says, have you seen how big Kate Middleton's arms are? Looks like she can kill with one hand. We can have a look, because I flipped to a story about Kate, actually. William and Kate's Caribbean trip. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. One thing about these people, like Kate and Megan, is that I'm not sure what you call it. What do you call the muscles at the back of the leg below the knee? Not your triceps, I'm not sure what they are. But anyway, there are operations that transgenders have, and that is to remove muscle. She's probably had it done to her arms as well, to make her arms look narrower. Sorry, her shoulders not look so wide. But yeah, that is one sharp, square jaw. Again, for all, I mean, do you think that, not that it makes too much of a difference, people wear wigs, of course, but we're already seeing the fakery at the back here with this supposed woman with a big grey wig on. She always got the same look on her face. Do they have to photograph her with a massive big smile and wide open mouth every single time? One reason that could be, I remember watching it was a programme, and it was a guy, and he was a David Beckham lookalike. And to look at him, yeah, okay, you might think there's a passing resemblance to David Beckham, but he wasn't, you wouldn't mix them up in a room, not really. But then he would pull this one particular face. He would sort of drop his eyebrow and look in a particular way, and it was a dead ringer for David Beckham. Now, is that the situation going on here? If they open their mouth in such a way, that's just the look that it gives. It squishes up the features of the cheek and the eyes. Who knows? You always see her with that same appearance though. Mud, she looks like a maniac grinning all the time. It's strange, isn't it? Life cannot be that great. That's possibly what they want us to think. Her and her husband, supposed husband, have such a wonderful, amazing life that they're laughing 24/7. It's obviously just an act. Excuse me, just for 1 second. Yeah, apparently, Kate and William they visited a place not far from where from where I was, actually. Was I there at the time? I don't think I was around when they were there, but supposedly two people that looked like them, I mean, it was supposed to be them, they visited I'm not sure what it was, some sort of school for disabled children or something. And it was literally just around the corner from where I was. Well, talking of fake noses, look at the end of Williams. I know he's supposed to take after his dad and have a weird shaped nose. Again, is it just prosthetics that they can put on people to make them look recognisable? That's why these people always have such exaggerated features. I mean, okay, sometimes the tips of people's noses might look a bit different. That's a weird looking face, isn't that? That is like, reminds me, I want to say Scarecrow, but maybe I've zoomed in a little bit too much there. Just down here, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's just where the whites are. I'll just get rid of that. It just seems to be a different colour to the rest of the face. Yeah, once you really look closely at these people. Right, we're looking for the massive arms. What was that? Is that the entire video? What a waste of time that was. Am I supposed to press? Oh right, it carries on. yeah, of course they went to the Bahamas, and this is the highlight of these people's lives, I guess, to have this couple visit. Look how wide her shoulders are. I'm sorry, that is not fooling. I say it's not fooling anyone, it's fooling an awful lot of people. She looks demonic there. Seriously looks demonic. Can I make the picture a little bigger? Nope. No, for goodness sakes, right. It's always the same thing. Is that really worth applauding? She ate a bit of spaghetti or whatever it was. I'll try and get the volume up. Oh, look at those. Again, I pointed this out. Earrings, when they seem to really hang off the ear, always makes me a bit suspicious. And look at what hers appear to be doing. Prosthetic ears, perhaps. Oh, she tried conch pistol, whatever that is. What do you think it is? Shredded foreskin or something? You put it. Was she seriously being directed how to eat? What an achievement. He can't believe it. He's shaking his head like, wow, I've never seen such a thing. It's either something seriously disgusting, because you don't shake your head in disbelief at someone eating. What, you ate a bit of spaghetti? Big deal. Oh, now she's cutting up veg. What a natural. Meanwhile, he's playing football with the kids. Bring him back, Harry. Bring him back, William. Come on. I don't care what your uncles asked you to get him, to bring him back from the Bahamas. Leave the kid alone. No, that's unfair. I'm sorry. I'm not going there. Of course, William, whatever his name is a natural father, a natural with kids. He pushes them on swings all day long. So he doesn't even know how to push them.
What you're seeing right now is
Because the climate change so fast, it's not having a time to adapt. And you're doing is you're creating it at a faster time period.
And one of the standout moments, what's the standout moment? What do you think it was? Which they got on a plane, big deal. In one of the standout moments near the end of the tour, so we're here, Prince said he would support Caribbean nations cutting ties with the royals. Okay. Yes, it really looks like it. It really looks like they're going to cut ties. What a crap. What an absolute load of spit. KG points out wide shoulders, thin hips, exactly. Big jaw as well. Oh, another video of him. This is a big deal, these people.
Next year.
Oh, hang on. I can't listen to it, sorry. Duke of Cambridge. I'm not interested. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Mudlark. Her arms are pretty vast. William's final thoughts, mate. Right, okay, so we were talking about the main highlight of the title of tonight's show is the BBC and their hypocrisy. Perhaps the BBC are no worse than anyone else, but I did notice in this story, hang on, let me zoom in a minute. I didn't do anything. There we go. Hopefully the screen is lined up okay. It's not all off center. That'll do. Apparently, having anti-war opinions can cost Russians their jobs. Can you believe it? In Russia, they'll dismiss people from their jobs if they don't agree with the government. If they don't go along with what the government are demanding of their people, they could be dismissed from their jobs. Who would think such a country could ever do such a thing? Let's write a story about Russia and how horrible they are for treating their civilians in such a way. For 28-year-old geography teacher Cameron Manafly, I bet their numbers come up. That's all I'm going to say. It all began with an Instagram post. I don't want to be a reflection. He wrote, just a few days before it was restricted, I have my own opinion, lots of teachers do, and you know what? It's not the same as the opinion of the state. He felt compelled to write the comments after a staff meeting in which he and his colleagues were told how to talk to their pupils about the situation in the Ukraine, not to deviate from the government position. Do you think that's come up at all anywhere else recently? I mean, I can only speak for the United Kingdom, but you imagine a teacher in the United Kingdom dare to tell kids in the class, don't worry, you haven't got to wear a mask, we don't care about that rubbish. We're here, we're here to learn about whatever, geography, maths, science. We're not here to put masks on. 2 hours after posting, he received a call from the school's head teacher telling him to delete it immediately or leave his job. He didn't want to delete it. He knew straight away there was no point arguing, so I thought it best to just resign. Fair enough. Didn't even let him sack. So let's wind back. It didn't cost this man his job. He wasn't dismissed. They may well have said he'd have to leave, but he didn't fight it. He didn't stand up for his, employment rights. He left. He resigned. So he didn't even go to like a disciplinary or anything. Oh, hang on, maybe not. When he arrived at school the next day expecting to pick up his things and sign his resignation letter, he was barred from entering the premises. They said they have an order not to let him in. The children started to come out onto the street to support me. Then they called the police and said I was organising an unsanctioned rally. Videos seen by the BBC show the children crowding around, applauding. He eventually recovered. Yeah, I bet that's not staged for the camera, is it? He eventually recovered his belongings and was able to meet the school's head teacher. Mr. Manafly refused, expecting to resign anyway, but instead was told that the situation has changed and he was going to be dismissed. Would a school really do that? Well, maybe. Who knows? So it did. He was leaving anyway, but as he was leaving, they thought, we're going to dismiss you anyway. One of those, you can't sack me. No, you can't quit. You're fired. Whatever. School head teacher didn't respond. So yeah, it just made me think. The BBC, for example. Oh, hang on. Let's carry on. Doesn't stop there. Fake information crackdown. But they put fake in inverted commas. As if the information isn't really fake. After Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February, many thousands, particularly in Moscow, expressed their opposition to the special military operation. The state's response has been heavy-handed, detaining thousands of protesters and introducing a new law which made spreading fake information about the Russian military punishable by up to 15 years in jail. Talking about detaining people, hasn't the whole world just been detained, or any world country that went into lockdown? Didn't they just detain every single member of the public? I'm just saying, this newspaper wants to publish this story as if Russia are an unfair country. They're like a dictatorship where people don't get to express their opinions or else getting sacked. Well, it's exactly the same in this country. It may be considered a democracy, which is a complete joke, but yeah, we're no better than we're no better than Russia or any of the other countries we hear about where supposedly they've got human rights violations. All of our human rights have literally just spent the last 2 years being completely violated. Any country that decides they're going to say we're at war, again, expect their rights to be completely violated. So let's not paint Russia as any worse than Britain, because they 1,000,000% aren't. I want to read about this fake information. Oh, this is someone else got the same thing. Let's just read the account of this other person. Mr. Manafly's Instagram post did not fall foul of that law, according to the Russian newspaper, which felt able to publish it in full even after the new regulation came into force. Apparently, Katya Dolinina, the invasion of Ukraine was the moment she could stay quiet no longer. A manager of 2 cinemas at the state-affiliated Moschino cinema chain, Ms. Dolinina has tended to keep her political views to herself. I love my job, I enjoy it, I didn't want to lose it. Explaining why she had not taken part in previous protests. But when the war started, that changed. When friends sent her an open letter, she didn't hesitate to add a name. I agreed with the opinion that these operations should be stopped. Soon after, what, did she resign as well? She's received a call from her boss. She should remove her name immediately or resign. Well, no, I'm not resigning. What do you You'll have to sack me, and then we'll take it to a tribunal. If she refuses to do either, she would be fired, she was told. Well, yeah, fire me, and see how we get on at the tribunal. That's what I would be saying at this point. Moschino did not respond. So what happened? What did she do? It felt like it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know how I would work if they didn't ask me. Right. I felt it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know how I would work anyway if they didn't ask me to resign. So she just basically rolled over and resigned. Is that what she's saying? After this special operation, I don't feel any motivation to do anything that's not connected to it. She's resigned without a fuss. Yep, of course she did. She rolled over and then sold her story to the lying BBC that she lost her job because she wouldn't disagree with the government. But she didn't even give them the opportunity, which is ridiculous. She was worried that her employer would otherwise find a pretext to fire her. Well, then you take them to it, then you make them prove it anyway, which would cause her more problems in the future. The whole process of ending her employment took just a couple of hours, and the atmosphere at her final meeting with her managers was cordial. They told Mrs. Dolinina that they were sad to see her go, although she now wonders if that was just an attempt to avoid conflict. But for a paediatrician, more people. So, do you think this next person? Here we go. Anna Lavdanyaya, a paediatrician and influencer of over 2 million followers on Instagram. I bet she's not really a paediatrician. The meeting in which she found out she must resign was far from friendly. You can't make you resign. You do have a right to refuse. So all these are resignations. None of them lost their job. None of them were actually sacked. They all made it easy for them. She was on holiday. She posted a photograph on Instagram. Let's see it. Of an aeroplane window with an image of a peace dove attached. Let's see this. This is what she resigned over, okay? Crazy stuff. Crazy spit. Oh, this page isn't available anymore. They've took down this teacher's Instagram page by the look of it. Hey ho. Yeah, someone else that just resigned. Crazy stuff. Watch Marina Ovsyannikova, who interrupted a live TV news programme to protest against the war, speaks to the BBC. No, I'm not interested in that. Right, I'll have a look at the live chat. Craze, good to see you in the live chat. Thanks for joining us. I do not trust one single story these criminals come up with. Mockingbird Media. Yeah, of course it is. Let's see. Just having a look. Mudlark, the hamstring. Obviously, I was asking about the muscle in the leg. No, below the knee I'm thinking of. I reckon it's the tricep or something. I could be wrong. They would be a lot more credible if they were being themselves instead of fake all the time. Yeah, but what is themselves, really? The royal family are completely ridiculous. What a joke. I totally agree. MSN knowingly lies here anyway. You're correct, KG. There is no way the mainstream media are in the least bit interested in sharing the truth. They'll have a version. They all have. Yeah, they have whole yeah, they've got entire what's the word? They've got whole layers which they're protecting their lies with. So under one, covering one lie with another one, and they just keep building on each other. Okay, right. It's getting on for midnight. I did say I was gonna wind down by midnight, obviously. Although it's British summertime, and it would technically be 11 o'clock normally, but no, it's midnight. I'm gonna wind down very shortly. As I said, I will be playing the second part of Unreasonable Request, which kind of ties in with this story about anti-war opinions, people losing their job for not going along with the government. It's happened here, believe me. There's plenty of people out there who have identical experiences. If you guys do want me to look at any other subjects before we finish for the night, I will. Otherwise, can I buy a lateral flow test? Do you seriously telling me anyone would waste their money on such crap? Who would buy this rubbish? One, who would buy it? Well, I know lots of people probably do. When will free tests end across the UK, and can I buy them? Yeah, I'm sure you can buy them. Oh, it'll continue in Scotland, of course, until the end of April. Free won't be available after the 1st, except for over 75s and over 12s with a weakened immune system. So they've still got a target market. 5 tests a month until the end of June. Anyone else will have to buy them. How much are they? The NHS test ordering website has been updated to say most people in England without symptoms no longer need a test. So basically telling you not to use them anymore. We're done with that crap now. The company producing them, they want to use it for some other thing now. So we're not making them for you anymore. Free PCR tests won't be available to people with symptoms from April either, except for a small number of at-risk groups. So it was never even a big deal. It was never a big deal. So what they mean is when they say free, anything that says free is basically expected. You will be expected to take a test. Free testing will remain for social care workers with symptoms and NHS staff. But that's very vague. But these may not be funded separately, but they'll still be free. Yeah. Boots are selling them for £5.99 or 4 for 17 quid. Whoa. These things have no value except to push a complete lie. I mean, come on. Oh, by the way, I will say about this video that we're going to play out with tonight, Unreasonable Request Part 2. I put this up on YouTube, set it for private, or set it for unlisted, and within seconds, well, I don't know about seconds, within minutes, the video was removed for sharing what they call it, medical misinformation. I appealed, and again, within minutes, I had a response saying, having watched the video, we can say basically my appeal failed. So what I've now put up on YouTube, or what I will be releasing on YouTube, is a censored version, and that is what we'll be watching tonight. Over on BitChute, however, you can watch. I'm going to go to BitChute now, actually, where you will be able to watch the unedited version of Unreasonable Request 2. It's only very minor words that I beep out, and it seems to be fine. They haven't. Yeah, but it's interesting now how quickly YouTube can scan your videos. Look, show transcript. Now on every single video on YouTube, well, maybe not everyone, but on a lot of them, they have a transcript now running. Where is it? I don't know where it comes up on here. Oh, here it is, up here, yeah. Look, they can basically, they've got every word said in this video already written up, so they can just do a quick search for, let's say, Carl Fogarty's daughter. Any video that has the word Carl Fogarty's daughter in, we're going to ban it. We're going to immediately take it down. Another thing I did when I uploaded the video, which will be released in a minute, is I put the word CV, COVID, I put that in the searchable tabs. Maybe that drew attention to it, I'm not sure. Okay, so that just leaves me to say thank you and good night to Mudlight Digging Up the Thames, Craze, KG. I think that's everyone tonight. They are already here, of course. Was also with us. And I was in the live chat with my other channel. I will have a quick look. Craze says, what is in the test is what I want to know, and I still see idiots driving around with Biden bumper stickers and masks. Old washed up Dems finishing off their pension. Democrats, yep, I gotcha. Yeah, here in the UK, Biden bumper stickers, they do not exist. Good night, Mudlight. Thanks for joining us. See you hopefully in the next live stream. Mudlight says people want these NHS antigen tests to take time off work. You don't need to show evidence of the result, just register the result on the website. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. These tests have absolutely nothing to do with people's health. They are just a status symbol, and you're correct, people do use them to take time off. Of course they do. People don't even have to take them. That's the ridiculous thing about it. They can, like you said, just put any result they want up on the website, so long as you're appearing to take part. And in the case of my account of Unreasonable Request, I was not prepared to take part. That is what we're playing out with tonight. Thanks to everyone who took the time to tune in. Have a great week. I will be back again next Sunday. Hopefully we'll start on time and it won't be nearly an hour late. So thanks for your patience if you hung around and still tuned in. I will be back again soon. Please check out my other The other places you can find me, such as 153 News, BitChute. I'm obviously on Twitter and whatnot. Michelle from Oz, you're coming in just as we're leaving, I'm afraid. But I will leave you with part 2 of Unreasonable Request, which you'll get to watch. It is a censored version though. Yeah, Michelle, we actually started nearly an hour late tonight after I had technical difficulties, so you can skip back to the beginning of the video, of course, and play it. Okay, but yeah, thanks for joining the live chat, Michelle. Yeah, and again, I'll finish off by saying a big thanks to my Patreon, Linda Mack. If you are in a position to support me over on Patreon for as little as 75p/$1 a month, scan the code or go to patreon.com/BZLive. Otherwise, thumbing up this video also helps the channel. And I don't know about leaving comment or sharing it on social media is massively appreciated if you would care to take the time to do that. Yeah, no time. We haven't got a thumbnail for tonight's video, unfortunately. Anyway, this is coming up now. Yeah, bye, Michelle. Thanks at least for coming in and saying good hello, and to Mudlark, KJ, Craze, and they are already here. And anyone else? I hope I haven't missed anyone. KG, sorry, not KJ. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Okay, I'm gonna leave you all with this video. Part 3, actually, if you want to read it. If you want to read part 3 of Unreasonable Request, will be over on Patreon. And if you and the video will also go up there first. This part 2's been up there for a few days now, so you do get to see things a little bit earlier. Anyway, right, I'm gonna stop going, or I'm gonna stop talking, or I'll be rambling for another hour. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining, and take care. Unreasonable Request, Part 2. I had confidently enforced my exemption from wearing any face cover. First in my workplace, then in June 2020 in my personal life, as short-lived plans to reopen shops came with the condition that masks would have to be worn by the public. Will the memories last of just how heavily it was pushed that everyone would be required to put on a face mask to go in shops or use public transport? People I knew well were telling me I would have no choice but to put a covering on, be it a scarf, surgical mask, or even an old rag picked up off the street. Unless I had something blocking my mouth and nose, I would be forced out of any train, bus or shop I may try and enter. I told them not to believe anything they hear on the news, which was the source of their information. I decided to bite my tongue rather than argue with them. Actions certainly speak louder than words, and when the time came to send them daily photos of myself on a train or in a shop, even in a hospital ward once, with my face completely uncovered, it felt like an achievement. Any fretting I once had that I may eventually have to concede and cover up was swiftly swatted away following a prayer or two. Then, in August 2020, another request was made insisting I step over that line, away from the right side of logic and into the world of believing anyone coming near may be a germ spreader, where you have to set your mind to accept that sticking a probe in 2 orifices every month, increasing to 3 times a week, could somehow be beneficial. The reason I would later be given for such frequent testing was far beyond the line of healthy, rational thought. What had not been needed at all for the first 8 months of 2020 suddenly became an absolute necessity in order to keep everyone safe. They were also claiming COVID tests would protect our families and those around us, as I will cover in a later chapter. This was another invitation to join their fairy tale world of paranoia and fear. What was it everyone was so afraid of? The source of this fear was mainstream media and the continuous bombardment from news corporations. Back in 2017, I lost all trust in the mainstream press. Their motivation is not, I have learned, to share truthful information. Since reaching this conclusion, any trust I had in the mainstream media has dropped so low in my opinion as to be non-existent. And here I was, going into a workplace and being forced to trust in what was a plain and simple propaganda tool, at a huge cost to the taxpayer and also hugely profitable for some select suppliers. When it comes to health and well-being, I put my faith elsewhere. In early August 2020, my manager approached me asking me why I had not submitted my test. All but 3 or 4 staff members were still outstanding, while some of the others welcomed these tests like they were an answer to a prayer. This was before the lateral flow test, which give a supposed result within minutes. After taking the test, staff were required to box them up, fill their details on the box, and then fill out an online form stating they voluntarily agreed to share their information. I simply told my manager that I did not wish to take a test. I was asked to email the regional head stating my reasons for refusing. This is something I did, detailing my lack of faith in the test, the invasive nature of sticking a probe to the back of my nose, and that the idea of testing myself for an illness I did not have any symptoms of. I also stated that it was against my theological outlook. The reply back from the regional head stated that by declining a test I'd be refusing to carry out a reasonable request from management and would be at risk of disciplinary action. A similar request was sent to the other staff that had emailed their objections. Ultimately, we were given a deadline which fell in early September 2020, at which time if we had not taken the test we would face disciplinary action. The other staff members agreed to take the test while I stood my ground. Leading up to the deadline, I exchanged a few emails with the regional manager. At no time did she ever acknowledge my objections, instead continuing to chant that it was a reasonable request on their part. Let's consider what a reasonable request is. If it was something that was stipulated in either your job description or an employment contract, agreed, that is reasonable. Agreeing to voluntary testing was in neither. How about something which had come up at least once in the previous 15.5 years on the job during similar health scares? 2018 had seen a flu epidemic which was more severe in deaths at that point than CV-19 was claiming to be. Also swine flu, yearly winter vomiting outbreaks and more had occurred over the years, and testing never came up. I would also expect to have read and signed either a risk assessment or a policy on performing tests, even training considering a probe was being inserted deep into the body. I was not surprised to find out that some of my colleagues who took the test as soon as requested had no idea how deep into the nose they're actually supposed to insert the plastic swab. The truth was, demanding staff take a test for something they have no symptoms of was an extraordinary request. I later found out that when an employer wants to introduce new health and safety equipment, which these tests supposedly were considered, they are required to hold consultation meetings with each member of staff prior to its introduction. This was something my employer neglected to do. I did have a video call meeting with the regional head in September 2020, and she said something which I would hear over and over from the various people who held investigations and disciplinary meetings with me. When I brought up my objections to sticking an object up my nose, each one asked me if I was aware that I could take the test in private. What they were implying was that they didn't really expect me to take the test as advertised. I could spit on the swab and return it for all they cared, so long as I appeared to comply with their requests. Every time someone said those words, I pointed out the easiest thing to me to do would be pretend to take a test, which I know is what some of my colleagues opted to do. I told them that I would not sell out my integrity and agreed to do something I had no intention of really doing. Now, were they prepared to punish me for being honest? I was asked in one of the emails from the regional head to explain why I was exempt on religious grounds. I took this opportunity to inform her that I worship a God who requires exclusive devotion. I would not, even superficially, put any faith in a product supplied by the government. I told them, in no uncertain terms, that when it comes to my well-being, it is Yahweh I look to and nothing or no one else. I quoted, among other verses, Exodus 15:26 and Deuteronomy 32:39. Excerpts from the email I sent will be in the next chapter. The deadline for me to submit my test was pushed back into October, by which time they were requiring staff voluntarily take a test every week rather than the one-off test they wanted in August and September. In October, the requirement jumped to 3 tests a week. The days passed until October the 9th, 2020, when, at 9:30 a.m, I was asked to come into the office where my manager gave me a final opportunity to take a test. When I declined, she explained why she was suspending me on full pay for gross misconduct, pending an investigation and possible disciplinary proceedings. I was asked to leave the place I'd worked for approaching 16 years without speaking to anyone. I couldn't even say goodbye to the people I had enjoyed supporting, and I was not to contact any other members of staff staff during my suspension. In the next part, I will cover the accusations made against me, none of which were ever proven. Neither did my accuser even have to give evidence to support the claims against me, ranging from serious insubordination and bringing the organisation into disrepute, as well as, of course, failing to carry out a reasonable request.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait.